Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. I appreciate this. Um, let's see, Mr. Orndorff, wanted to come to you. As you know, in Tennessee and there in Nashville, we are pretty much the hub for our nation's hospital management companies. And I know when we talk with them, they talk a good bit about providing world-class service and the importance of budgeting and planning and execution, and how that has been so instrumental in their long-term success. So, and I feel like as I look at the VA, this is truly something that is missing for them. So what I and I, Mr. Sims, I'm going to come to you next on this OIG report on the deficiencies in reliable physical infrastructure cost estimates for the electronic health records and looking at VA infrastructure. And I think, Mr. Orndorff, what I'd like from you for the record is how do you identify both these electronic or cyber infrastructure? How do you identify the local physical infrastructure? How do you maintain this system of upkeep and maintenance, which sometimes in the federal process, we build it, it's new, but then it does not have the proper ongoing maintenance. And I think it would be helpful for you to just talk for a moment about what your process is, if you can give us a minute on that.
Thank you, Senator. We try to have a life cycle perspective. I think that's common knowledge that everybody would want to be there. It's a bit challenging because,
Leah just called. She obviously had to jump off to go do her committee.
Is that okay? I should continue. So what we try to do is to think about what is the sustainment cost as part of the overall decision to execute on a particular project. So we're not just focused on upfront capital cost, but life cycle and sustainment cost as part of the overall solution. It's challenging to do. There are different types of money and so forth, and I understand that there are competing priorities, obviously, for resources. But it does take the vision to do that. It does take the commitment of leadership to follow through to do that, and the constancy of purpose to deliver. And that's a constant vigilance that the organization needs to have. In the private sector, it's a little more straightforward on how we can plan, acquire, and operate. I understand, certainly having been at VA in my past, the challenges of having that longer-term view, and the magnitude of stakeholder input that you have to factor in. But we've come to understand within Kaiser Permanente that the right answer is to make the life cycle investments. And as we plan facilities, we understand that there is a run cost and a tail to that. And, we want those huge investments to have the absolute longest service life possible. And so by, proactively maintaining that infrastructure, you will get the maximum life, you'll get the minimum disruption from breakdowns and unexpected events, and it actually, over the long term, reduces cost. So it's hard to have the discipline and rigor to do it, but we know we need to, and we work steadily, have a steady strain in that direction.
Then, not to interrupt, but Mr. Sims, I do want to get to you. And looking at this report on the deficiencies, we all know that really having fine-tuned and precise cost predictions are something that you're not going to be able to do specifically. The report points that out, but it's something that you need to be able to ballpark. And it said in the report, additionally, that VHA leaders did not know the true state of their physical infrastructure at these facilities. So we're trying to move forward with 21st century healthcare provisions and these electronic records, but you also have the physical facility issues. So why was the state of these facilities not known, and what steps are you taking to improve the skip process that should have been essential to this?
Thank you, Senator. So let me address that in two parts. First is, we actually do know the condition of our facilities. We have a recurring assessment process that we evaluate all of the systems and subsystems of our building on a regular 3-year cycle that identifies what facility systems are in good condition, poor condition, and what it would cost to fix or get those to a like new state. The challenge in the second point with the EHRM infrastructure is it wasn't about the condition of the facilities. It was whether or not the facilities met the new standard that was necessary for deployment. So simple example would be, we have a wiring closet that has HVAC capacity in it, but if it wasn't the right standard for EHRM, we needed to do work. We needed to do investment to ensure the deployment could happen. So the state of the facilities that I believe the IG report references to is whether or not they met the standards or the requirements to deploy, not necessarily the physical condition of the facilities, which I do think is included in the skip process.
Okay, thank you. I know I'm over time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.